Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you as the sun is still in the sky. We are still on the day of Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembrance. In Israel, from sunset to sunset, there is Yom HaZikaron, and as soon as the next sunset, it is Yom Ha'atzmaut, the day of remembrance of those who have died throughout the years since the founding of the State of Israel 75 years ago. And so each year in Israel, there is a day of mourning, a day of remembering, and immediately after that, there is a day of celebration, knowing that those who died for a purpose, died to create the state, died living in the state and losing their lives from terror. At this hour, we, here in Little Neck, mark the conclusion of Yom HaZikaron, a day set aside to remember all of those who lost their lives fighting to defend their right and the right of the Jewish people to live freely in this world, in charge of our own destiny. Tonight, remember those who died serving as soldiers in 1948, War of Independence, in the 1956 Suez Crisis, in the 1967 Six-Day War, in the 1973 Yom Kippur War, the 1982 and 2006 Lebanese wars, the continued conflict with Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank, including the first and second intifadas, and all of those who have lost their lives in terror attacks throughout the 75 years of statehood. We ask that everyone please rise as we experience a moment of Yom HaZikaron as our Israeli brothers and sisters experience it every year, standing motionless and silent as a siren blares throughout the country. In the video that accompanies this siren are Israelis who have lost their loved ones. We will see their motionless silence accompanied by the beauty of their memories. may be seated. We'll now take a moment to experience that knock on the door.
בדרך לעוד משפחה. ימין החזק על המדרכה. אני יוצר מול שער צבוע בתכלת. בודק אם השם תואם את השלט. נשען בכבדות על המעקה. מוריד את התיק. ואז מחכה. כי בפנים בית גועש מחיים. שגרה שתפורה כמו סמיכה של טלאים. נורא משתלשלת מלב התקרה, פירמידת פירות בתוך קערה. טלוויזיה דלוקה, סכו"ם, צלחות, חביתות וסלט, ואז מקלחות. הצחוק מתפוצץ, לצל מהעץ. הילד בן 7 צועק וקופץ. אני עומד שם בחוץ ולא ממצמץ. אני מושך את הרגע ככל שאפשר, רק שיקחו את מעט הזמן שנשאר. לפני שיעצרו להם כל השעונים, לפני התמונה בכל העיתונים. אני נותן להם עכשיו רגעי חסד אחרונים. ואז פותח את השער שצבוע בתכלת. מרים את היד. ודופק על הדלת.
We speak about numbers, the numbers who have died. 24,203 who have lost their lives since the founding of the State of Israel. God forbid if we simply think of the numbers. Each one of those numbers is a precious individual person whose life was taken away. We'll now have the opportunity to meet Carmi Ilan, a young man who lost his life serving as a soldier in the IDF.
קרמי היה קודם כל הכי קטן בין 4 בנים. הוא היה ילד נדיב ואדיב במיוחד. הוא היה מרכז העניינים, מרכז הכיתה שלו, מנהיג.
כשקרמי היה בן 16, הוא ביקש לעבור למרכז כי הוא רצה להתעסק יותר עם הקייט סרפינג. לכל דבר הוא באמת עשה, הוא היה באיזשהו אקסטרים. הוא באמת שיחק את החיים עד הסוף.
כשהוא היה בתיכון, הוא פעם אמר לי, אמא, אני אמות מוקדם. ובשבילי זה היה מין משפט כל כך, לא יכלתי לעכל את זה, לא יכלתי לשמוע את זה, שאמרתי לו, קרמי, על מה אתה מדבר?
האמת, היה לו קשה, הקטע עם הצבא, בגלל שהוא מאוד רצה ללכת לברזיל, היה תחרות שם.
כל הבנים שלי
קרבי.
היו קרביים, כולם. וכשכרמי התקבל לקורס טייס, אז טוד אמר לי, איילין, את לא צריכה לדאוג, הוא במקום הכי בטוח שיש. אני לא דאגתי.
מדריך טיסה ופרח טייס נהרגים בהתרסקות של מטוס אימונים מסוג צוקית בנגב. עד כה הותר לפרסום שמו של החניך טוראי אילן כרמי, בן 19 מהרצליה.
פתאום רומי התקשר אליי, והוא אומר לי, תחזור הביתה, אני סוגר את הטלפון. אוקיי, אני מרים את הטלפון עליו, אמרתי לו, אין אצלנו סודות. אז הוא אומר לי, אסור לי להגיד לך, אבל יש פה 2 קצינים ורב.
הגעתי הביתה לכאן, הוא יצא מהבית, והפנים שלו היו מעוותות. והוא אמר לי, כרמי נהרג היום.
המזל שלי שהדירה שלי יושב על החוף שלו. ואני רואה את כל הקיטים כל יום. זה חלק מהכיף זה מזכיר לך אותו. גם אצלה וגם אצלי, הסקרינשוט של הטלפון, אנחנו כל הזמן בקונטקט. אתה לא מאבד את הקונטקט. אבל הבחירה שלי הייתה ליהנות מה-19.5 שנים שהיו. אני שמח שהיה לי את ה-19.5 שנים שנתן לנו. באמת.
Just 2 weeks ago, 2 young girls and their mother lost their lives when Palestinian terrorists attacked their car as they were vacationing Chol HaMoed Pesach. I'd like to call upon Cantor Shron to share a little bit more about these recent victims of terror and to read a letter written by another member of the family who survived.
On Yom HaZikaron, we think not only of those soldiers who lost their lives in the army of the State of Israel and the IDF, but we also think of those victims of terror, of which we hear all too often in the land of Israel. Just a couple of weeks ago, as Rabbi Yaffe mentioned, 3 members of the D family, Mother Lucy and her 2 daughters, Maya and Rena, were murdered while driving on the way to an excursion throughout the country over Passover. Ever since, the remaining members of the family, especially the father, Rabbi Leo D., have served as a model of strength, of bravery in the face of tragedy. This family made Aliyah about a year ago from England. So all of their interviews have been conducted in English. Well, this morning, Tali D., who I believe is the oldest remaining sister of a family that went from 7 to 4 in a matter of moments, wrote an article in the Times of Israel that affected me deeply, and I wanted to share it with you. Tali D. writes, "I never thought that it would be my family. I remember myself standing at the siren, closing my eyes and shedding a tear over an emotional passage or a sad song. I've always connected to Memorial Day ceremonies. At least that's what I thought, that this is how you feel when you connect. But I never thought it would be my family, the one for whom the ceremony was written. I see the pictures in the news around me and the slideshow at the ceremony, and it's still hard for me to digest that it's them, that it's me. For the last few days, I felt sort of okay. We went out, Daddy, Karen, Yehuda, and I. We went to a restaurant and they're bringing us the most delicious food and I have the car anytime I want. And then suddenly I realize that things will never be good again. There is a black hole inside me and it's there all the time. Even when things are good for me, they're not really good. And even in another 5 years or another 10 years, even at my wedding, this hole will be there. These days, the house is empty. Everything screams their absence. Sometimes I put a bag of salad in the fridge. My mother would never let that happen. I went to fill up the car. It was complicated, and I couldn't call Mommy to explain it to me. I found myself asking for help from someone I didn't know. I find little notes that Rena wrote in the bedroom. I see the box of notes I kept from Mommy, her wedding ring on my hand. In Maya's closet, all her clothes are neatly arranged, just waiting. Recently, I was sent a recording of Mommy singing Modeh Ani, the morning prayer. I thank you, living and enduring King, for you have returned my soul within me. But he did not return her soul, and that's all I have left, her recording. How is it possible to understand that this is all I have left? I don't have Rena to talk to, or Maya to guide me, or Mommy to wake me up in the morning, to sing Modeh Ani to me. I've always connected to Memorial Day ceremonies, at least that's what I thought, that this is how you feel when you connect. But nobody can relate to this pain. Not really. It is impossible to understand what it is to lose a loved one without experiencing it. I've never had such emptiness as this. I never knew what loss was. I thought I understood, but I didn't understand. And even now I don't understand. I can't come to terms with the fact that this is truly my reality. From a family of 7, we became a family of 4. It's impossible to digest, and it's so scary to be so sad. I want to jump ahead to press the fast forward button on my life when all of this will supposedly be behind me. I'm waiting for the day when I'll be able to think about Rena and about Maya and about Mommy, and I will be able to breathe and not cry. But can that be? I know that this pain will not go away, that it won't become easier for me. I've always connected to Memorial Day ceremonies. At least that's what I thought, that this is how you feel when you connect. And I always knew that the transition from Memorial Day to Independence Day was extreme but strong, full of power. And now I don't understand how it can be that Independence Day has arrived. I haven't the strength to celebrate. How do you make this transition from grief to joy? Rena was so excited about Independence Day. She was responsible for the flag march with her youth group girls in the ceremony in front of the entire community. She shared the difficulties with us along the way, her concerns and her enthusiasm. But tomorrow, I'll come to the ceremony at the school, and they will talk about Rena there. Sometimes what happened to us hits me, and then I can't function. And then at other times, I'm sort of removed from it, not believing that this is really my life. And there is no solace for this. The hole cannot be fixed. Everyone continues. The sun carries on shining, and people post normal statuses about normal things on social media. But I stay behind. I don't want photos that will document the fact that I'm growing up, but Maya and Rena aren't. In 3 years, I will be older than Maya. How is that even possible? Even people who have experienced loss have not experienced this triple loss at once. And I'm afraid of this loss. Afraid of the longing. Afraid of the sadness. Afraid to give birth without my mother. I've always connected to Memorial Day ceremonies. At least that's what I thought. That this is how you feel when you connect. May their memory be a blessing.
Thank you, Chazan. This is helping me to remember a day that I spent in Israel that was Yom HaZikaron, leading into Yom Ha'atzmaut. We walked on the Burma Road and we read from O Jerusalem and the story of the siege of Jerusalem as part of the Independence Day War. And we ended that day on Har Herzl, where people were flocking by the thousands to leave, yes, flowers, not just stones, but flowers on the graves, and tears rolling down their faces. We felt that pain and hearing that story and seeing the stories that we've seen in the videos. I hope that you all feel not so great at the moment. But we also know that we have a tradition that teaches that we go from dark to light, and that we always have hope. And if we remember that when the state of Israel was formed, there were 600,000 Jews there. And today, there are 7.1 million. That's really amazing. And although we mourn and we remember more than 24,000 who have lost their lives over that time, we rejoice in Israel that was building life out of the ashes of the Holocaust and embracing the blessing of life and enabling Jews around the world to be able to stand tall and proud that no, we were not going to be eliminated from this world, but we're going to come and to become a light unto the nations. And that, indeed, is what Israel has become in so many ways. And so, as we conclude this day of Yom HaZikaron, let us keep in mind all those that we remembered in this short time. And it's just a little bit, but we'll rise and we'll light this candle. A candle is a sign of hope, of bringing light to darkness. It's energy. And when we see that candle, we think of the energy of those who made it so that Israel is indeed on the map today. Please rise with the El Moed Rachamim prayer. God, who is full of compassion, we ask God to share that compassion with those who are no longer with us.
מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה, הכנפי השכינה. במעלות קדושים ותיארים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, לנשמות הקדושים שנלחמו בכל מערכות ישראל, במחתרת ובצבא הגנה לישראל, ושנפלו במלחמתם ומסרו נפשם על קדושת השם בארץ. בעבור שאנו מתפללים לעילוי נשמותיהם. לכן בעל הרחמים יסתירם בסתר גנביו לעולמים. ויצרור בצרור החיים נשמותיהם. אדוני הוא נחלתם בגן עדן תהא מנוחתם. וינוחו ושלום משפוטם ותעמוד לכל ישראל זכותם ויעמדו לגורלם לקץ הימים. ונאמר אמן.
O God, full of mercy, who dwells on high, grant proper rest on the wings of the divine presence in the lofty levels of the holy and pure ones, who shine like the glow of the firmament, for the souls of the martyrs who fought in all of the wars of Israel, in the underground and in the Israel Defense Forces, who met their death in war or in terror, and pledged their souls to the sanctification of God's name, the Jewish people, and the land of Israel, by virtue of our prayers for the ascent of their souls. May the Merciful One therefore shelter them beneath his wings for eternity, and may bind their souls in the bonds of life. The Lord is their heritage, Eden their place of rest. May they rest in peace on their resting place. May their merit reflect on all Israel, and may they meet their destiny in the end of days. And let us say, Amen.
It was exactly at 4 p.m. Israel time, Friday afternoon. Erev Shabbat, the 5th of ER, 5708. That a 33-minute gathering in Tel Aviv changed Jewish history forever. It was then that the declaration of the establishment of the State of Israel was read by David Ben-Gurion in anticipation of the end of the British Mandate the following day. The declaration, known as Megillat Ha'atzmaut, had been completed just minutes before reading. The Mishnah in Avot chapter 5, verse 6, or Mishnah 6, teaches us that 10 things were miraculously created on Erev Shabbat, at twilight. Among them are the mouth of the earth that would swallow up Korach and his followers, Noah's rainbow that symbolized God's promise to never again destroy the world, manna, the miracle that sustained our ancestors upon their freedom from slavery, and the writing of the tablets of the 10 Commandments, words that define the foundation of who we are as a people in a covenantal relationship with God. The composition of the declaration that Ben-Gurion read, close to, if not exactly at twilight on Erev Shabbat, 75 years ago, could be added to that list in the Mishnah that was created nearly 2,000 years ago. Things miraculously created, moments just before Shabbat, that are foundational to Jewish identity. We're going to pass out a copy of the Declaration of Israel's Independence, and with this document in hand, we take a few minutes to listen to the Maccabees, that wonderful a cappella group from Yeshiva University, and their musical interpretation of Megillat Ha'atzmaut, the scroll of independence.
דין בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל היא מדינת ישראל.
בארץ ישראל קם העם היהודי, החלוצים מעפילים ומגינים הפריחו נשמות, החיו שפתם העברית, בנו כפרים וערים והקימו יישוב גדל. על אף כל קושי, מניעה וסכנה, הם לא פסקו לתבוע את זכותם בחיי כבוד, חירות ועמל ישרים במולדת עמם. לפיכך נתכנסנו ומכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל, היא מדינת ישראל. מדינת ישראל תהא פתוחה לעלייה, ומושתתה על יסודות החירות, הצדק והשלום. תבטיח חופש דת, מצפון, לשון, חינוך ותרבות לטובת כל תושביה. לפיכך נתכנסנו ומכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל, היא מדינת ישראל. זוהי זכותו הטבעית של העם היהודי להיות ככל עם ועם עומד ברשות עצמו. לפיכך נתכנסנו ומכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל, היא מדינה, היא מדינה, היא מדינה, היא מדינת ישראל.
God bless the Maccabees. I gave out these declarations of independence. I hope that you'll take it home with you It will become an important part of your life at home, looking at it from time to time. And I share, it's been, I think, 11 years since the synagogue went to Israel as a group. And one of the things that we did was we were in Tel Aviv, and we were at the spot where Ben Gurion declared Israel to be a state. And when we left the House of Independence on the bus, we read this document. It's a beautiful document about the vision of the founders of the state of Israel. And it is, we don't have, or Israel doesn't have a constitution, but it has this Declaration of Independence. And we should all know it and embrace it, and understanding that that is what Israel was always meant to be, and that is what drives all that Israel is. We can be very proud of Israel, not a perfect place, there are all kinds of things just like in our own home, but it is our home. And there are more Jews in Israel than anywhere else in the world. That is a relatively new phenomenon. And how wonderful it is that we have this opportunity to celebrate the very beginning of Yom Ha'atzmaut as the sun sets. And the Chazan will be leading the Mariv service to the melody of the Shalosh Regalim, the melody of the festivals, because the festivals are, or that Yom Ha'atzmaut should be just as one of the festivals in synagogues tomorrow. The Hallel is sung and special verses are read, and it feels just like the other holidays that have been around for thousands of years. This is a new holiday of only 75. We will daven Mariv, giving us the opportunity to give thanks for the blessings of our lives, for the opportunity to feel God's presence in the world, and to know that our people emerged from the darkest period of history and created the most fabulous state of Israel that we can call our own. We're going to use the regular Shabbat booklets that are in the bookcases. Page 281. Please rise for the Baruch Hu.
והוא רחום יכפר עוון ולא ישחית והרבה להשיב אפו ולא יאיר כוחמתו אדוני הושיע המלך יננו המלך יננו ביום קוראנו ברכו את אדוני המבורך ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
May be seated. Amen. Oh, say shalom, Miromah. Huya, say shalom. Aleinu, Yal Kol Yisrael. Imaru. Amen. Amen. May God who makes peace in the heavens grant peace to us, to all Israel, to all humanity. We say together, Amen.
Amen.
We will remain standing as we join together singing Hatikva, Israel's national anthem. And I hope that everyone will take a look at all these beautiful pictures of the beautiful Israeli children in so many different ways enjoying life in Israel. We join together Hatikva.
נפש יהודי